Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, ladies and gentlemen, and all in between, and welcome back to part 2 of the life and suffering of Sir Brante, the Clergy Path. So we'll dive straight in. It's the year 1121, chapter 1, The Lot of Suffering. You keep staring at the carpet underneath your feet. You are both ashamed and proud, and it feels odd. A scratch on your hand stings a little. Stefan is standing next to you, sniffling from pain. Your brother was training in the yard with a wooden sword. You want to play with him, but he ended up getting angry and throwing the sword at you. The stick hit you in the shoulder. You picked it up and hit him with it. You see Mother's shoes walking to and fro on the carpet. You do not want to look up. You would rather not see her angry. She is not as gentle to you these days. Why did you hurt Stefan, Jordan? You stammer out an explanation. He hit you first. You just hit him back. How dare he pester me like that? When I grow up, I'm going to hit you with a real sword. Mother shushes you both and speaks to you again. Her voice is stern, and yet you can still feel her concern for you. Even if Stefan hits you, you cannot hit him back. You are my son, and I was born a commoner. Our lot is to suffer. But your brother was born from a noble father and a noble mother. His sacrament is coming soon, and then he'll rule over the likes of us. If you hurt a noble, you must be punished. That is your lot, and the sooner you learn it, the better off our entire family will be. Now Stefan looks at you in triumph. You look up at Mother in fear, not sure what to do now. So we can accept our punishment, which will lead us to reduced willpower. Our mother will be grateful, and Stefan will like us a bit more. We can deny our guilt, determination goes up, or we can demand an explanation, perception goes up. Our perception is currently 3 already, and we don't have any determination. I kind of want to start working on determination soon. Let's accept our punishment for now. You accept your guilt and tell Mother you're ready to be punished. It will take some willpower though. I don't want to deny our guilt because we did hit him. Now, playing the clergy route, we believe in what the gods have told us about the lot. Well, do we? I don't know. I'm considering playing a new faith or the old faith as well. I'm not sure yet. Feck it, let's... accept our punishment. It is the lot. You look down and agree with what she just said. You are ready to be punished. You start apologizing to Stefan, but he turns his back on you. Before you can finish, Mother takes your hand and leads you away. You do not want to follow her. Your hands are getting sweaty and your legs are growing heavy. Then suddenly she stops and bends down closer to you, looking you straight in your eyes. My son, I see you understand our lot now. We do not defy, we suffer. That is our only path to the twins after all our deaths. Our only way to reach eternal bliss atop the peak of the pillar. Our virtue is meekness. We are humble in our words. We work hard. We think what is right. You have shown all of this. I'm so proud of you. She hugs you and you finally release the pent-up tears. You feel much more at ease now. So at least our relationship with Stefan has gone up. So, Stefan Brante. He's Robert Brante's son from his first marriage and a noble by birth. From a young age, he has been striving to be first in all things and demonstrate his superiority to the family. You are flogged in front of your entire family. The pain burns on your skin again and again. You feel the touch of the divine law with each blow. And our mother is grateful and she will remember what we did for her. But we're exhausted, so we can't do any more willful actions, which is kind of bad. But it's okay, we'll recover. Gloria's rhymes. Mother mostly stays in her chambers now. With each passing day she grows heavier and her features get rounder. It gets difficult for her to walk, but she still smiles all the time. One day she takes your hands and puts them on her big belly, and you feel a movement deep inside her. You will have another brother or sister soon. Gloria takes you on walks to the yard now. You explore the yard together under the evening light of the pillar, and she sings you songs and tells you amazing stories. Hey, Jordan, do you want to hear a rhyme? I wrote it myself. There's even a bit about you, but don't tell anyone, okay? Writing poems and songs is only for nobles. If Mommy hears about it, I'll get flogged. Remember how you got flogged for hitting Stefan? Our judge is my second father. In the past, I had another. Mother says the twins are great, says we should not fight our fate. Brother loves to jump around, please don't fall down on the ground. See, I wrote a little rhyme, please don't tell him it is mine. But today your sister is nowhere to be seen. She promised to take you to the old pond and show you the red frogs that lived there, but then she vanished. The servants join you in your search. Even Mother leaves her chambers when she hears the commotion. Finally, you find Gloria in the far corner of the garden. She is holding a quill and sheets of paper covered in poetry. Mother becomes angry the moment she sees it. She looks through the poetry and her face grows dark with rage. Gloria is standing before her, wringing her hands and looking for an opportunity to run, but there seems to be no escape. What is this nonsense, Gloria? We talked about this. You were told to take care of your little brother. You are absolutely not allowed to entertain yourself with this writing. I can decide that for myself, Mom. No, you cannot. It has already been decided by the gods. And he's not a little brother anymore, he doesn't need a nanny, and I need some time alone to think for myself. I'm not hurting anyone. You are a commoner and a future wife. It's time you learned how to properly care for children. Had your disgraceful father kept me in his house, you could have been born a noble, but that is not our fate, and you are absolutely forbidden from ever spoiling paper and wasting ink again. Mother grabs Gloria firmly by the hand and takes you both into the house. The scribbled sheets fly into the fireplace. Gloria sobs violently. You are a bystander to this scene, unsure of how to act. We could complain about our sister, but we don't have determination. We'll offer to write rhymes with her, which will increase our perception. We can comfort her, which unfortunately we can't do because we don't have willpower. Or we can leave the room and increase our willpower. Part of me wants to leave the room just to save up some willpower. We don't really need the extra perception right now, but that might come in handy. I'm surprised that doesn't actually give you some bonus to your relationship with your sister. We could comfort her as well. Feck it, let's offer to write rhymes with her. When nobody can hear you, offer to write poems with Gloria. Mother leaves. The last of your sister's poetry burns away in the fireplace. You hug your sister and whisper to her. Let's go to the library, you say. The two of you can hide under the table and write something there. Gloria shakes her head violently. Mother said no, and there is no way she would ever deny her. You reassure her that it will be your secret. You pull Gloria to the library. She fights you, but you refuse to relent. You carefully peek inside. Your sister takes a small book from one of the shelves and you read it together under the table. It's a book of poetry about eternal love. Gloria clearly adores it. You decide to write a poem of your own. She recites a line in an ecstatic voice and you repeat it after her and offer a rhyme of your own. She nods happily. You do this until the day ends. You have written a poem of your own and learned it by heart, but not a single line of it has been committed to paper, which means that you stay true to your mother's rule. So now inquisitive, which is great. And that means we'll have unlocked the special event for perception +4. 1122, 4 years of age. Winter, the coming sacrament. Mother is in her armchair, knitting woolen jackets, pants and socks for the little one. The baby will need to be kept warm, she says. Father spends less time at home now. Mother says he's very busy with his important job. He is a judge, after all. One day you decide to ask Mother about Stefan and Gloria. How come they're brother and sister to you, but not siblings to each other? Well, my dear, I didn't give birth to Stefan, you see. He is the son of another mother, and Gloria is the daughter of another father. Come now, don't knit your brow like that. You'll understand when you're older. How is that even possible? You're all a family, aren't you? Several days later, Mother calls Stefan and Gloria to the sitting room. You sneak in after them. At first, Mother gets angry and asks you to leave, but then she relents. You are told to sit still, be quiet, and remember every word you hear. When you enter the temple, bow to the twins, first to the elder on the right, and then to the younger on the left. Stefan, you are a nobleman to be, so walk along the side paved with marble where the benches are. Gloria, you walk along the sharp side. When you're there, you must get down on your knees, each on your own side. Stefan, kiss the sword. Gloria, my daughter, they will strike you with the lash. Do not be afraid of it. Resign yourself to the suffering it brings. It is a blessing of your lot. Gloria doesn't like the idea of the lash. There's a tense feeling in your chest as well. You were told to remember this. Will the lash strike you too one day? On the next day, they take your brother and sister to the temple. You run towards them when they finally come back. The back of Gloria's dress is soaked with blood. She's hunched a bit, sobbing quietly. Stefan is putting on airs, acting prouder than ever. Nothing ever looks different about them. It's like all is the same, and yet everything has changed. Each of them has accepted their lot. So that +1 relationship we got with Stefan is just gone now because he thinks he's better than us. And our family has dropped into disagreements. We're not peaceful anymore. Which is okay, but not disastrous yet. Brother and Sister Sacrament, year 1122. Your siblings, Stefan and Gloria, took their first sacrament at the temple. The newborns cry. You eye the little bundle in your father's arms with curiosity. Behind the many layers of swaddling clothes is your newborn baby brother. Mother is glowing and smiling with joy. Stefan and Gloria are also here, all excited. You promise yourself you're going to be the best big brother in the world. You'll never hit him. Oh no, the two of you will play together and tease Stefan together and help Mother together and go on so many adventures together. It feels so strange to be an older brother. Just the other day you were the youngest in the family, but everything is different now. Your parents name your little brother Nathan, and Mother spends day and night by his side. And Nathan cries all the time, day and night. Mother barely gets any sleep. She is so worn out she starts forgetting things. Like today, for instance, she forgot her knitting in the armchair in the sitting room. You'd better bring it back to her as soon as possible. You run to Mother's bedroom. You miss her smile so much. You walk in without saying hello and give her the knitting, but instead of gratitude, you get an ice-cold, exhausted stare. Nathan is also there, screaming all the time. Go away, Jordan, you're bothering me. She spits these words out through her teeth. You look at the bawling newborn. She can't even get a minute of respite. Enough already. When are you going to stop? I just want some peace and quiet. Mother leaps across the room and starts shaking Nathan with malice in her eyes. His cries get even louder. She looks so tired from his never-ending screams. She seems to be within an inch of smashing him against the wall. Somebody has to do something. You are scared for your mother right now, but you fear for Nathan's life much more. We could call Father for help. Redirect her anger to yourself. Or hug Mother. Which will give us unity. And relationship with Mom. We can't snatch him because we don't have the willpower. I think we're going to redirect her anger to yourself because we need the determination. You try your best to bring her back to her senses. I would like to hug Mother, but unfortunately right now we need determination. Mother keeps shaking Nathan violently and you cannot stay away any longer. He is no longer bawling, he is shrieking. Just leave me alone! But then comes out your voice so loud it drowns out their cries. No, it's not Nathan's fault, Mother. You're just tired. Please don't do anything to my little brother. If you have to punish someone, punish me instead. He's too young. He won't understand. Your mother freezes and looks at you, her eyes two narrow slits. Her stare is cold and full of pure wrath. So pure you cannot help but recoil in fear. Are you trying to teach me how to take care of a child? Are you giving me lessons on calming a newborn baby? You're insolent, insipid, nagging, know-it-all. It's time you learned your place. She puts Nathan on the bedsheets, then moves towards you. You step back, but a closed door blocks your way. She slaps you across the face. Your ears ring from the heavy blow, and your cheeks burn from her wrath. You wince and close your eyes, expecting a second slap, but nothing comes. Nothing but Mother's heavy breathing and Nathan's shrill cries. Then there is a knock at the door. You step aside. Father walks in. Phew, thank God. He looks at you, clutching a reddened cheek and the bawling baby. At Mother, her eyes red with rage and tears, her breath heavy and ragged. Go to your room, son. I'll join you soon. You do as you're told. Back in your room, you press your aching cheek against the cold window, hurt and dazed by what just happened. Soon enough, Nathan stops crying. You hear Father's heavy footsteps in the hallway. He comes into your room and sits on the bed next to you. Son, please do not be angry with your mother. The twins know she wishes nobody any harm. This is a difficult time for her, but we will make it through it as a family. You stepped up to protect your brother. You acted like a little nobleman today. I'm proud of you. Your mother and Nathan are resting now. How bad does it hurt? You shake your head. Not bad, but your hand still aches to clutch the cheek. Father embraces you with a sorrowful smile and gingerly pats you on the head. As you press your forehead into his housecoat, things grow calm now. The trouble has passed and you are quietly happy. We're still spineless, but we're getting there. Nathan's birth, year 1122. Your younger brother Nathan is born. (1123). 5 years of age. We've unlocked the event, the ant farm. This event is a consequence of your previous actions. Perception is greater than 4. Or equal to. The ant farm. Your younger brother Nathan is growing. Mother spends more time with the rest of the family now. You help her and play with your brother and take care of him when she asks. You often go to Mother's room to sit at the foot of her bed after Nathan falls asleep. She reads you the sacred books and asks you about the things you learned that day. During these moments, you see the world through her eyes as well. One day the door of your room opens and she brings in a large box covered with a piece of cloth. It is rare for you to see her so overjoyed. She sets the box on the floor and removes the cloth. The box under the cloth is made of glass and has a wooden base. Inside you see a layer of earth shaped into a carefully crafted passages, and these passages are full of hard-working ants. Jordan, this is my gift to you, an ant farm. It's a little world in a small box. We can watch them through the glass. Look, this is the queen ant. She is the reason all these little ants were born. You sit by the box together. You hold your breath as you watch the ant colony at work. There turns out to be a method to the ants' chaotic movements. Every single one of them has a task to perform. Some of them have large mandibles. They are the protectors of the colony. They can draw blood from your finger. Others work all around the colony, repairing the walls and clearing any debris from the passages. They are also workers who collect food, who put in a special tray, leaves, bits of meat, maggots, and bring it to the rest of the colony. You take a worker ant and put it right next to your foot. However, the insect has no interest in it. It starts circling around the tray aimlessly. Mother takes the stray ant and puts it back where it belongs. Why did you do that, my son? The ants cannot do what they weren't born to do. Each of them was born for their own job. You shake your head slowly. If only the ants could do whatever you wanted them to. This is your gift now, so they belong to you. Or maybe Mother's presence is the reason they won't obey you. So we keep playing with Mother, which will give us our willpower and relationship, or play by ourselves, which takes unity down but gives us perception and gives us insight. I don't really want to lose unity again. Okay, so willpower goes up, which would be really good. Or we get extra perception, but lose unity. I'm gonna play by myself. I haven't done that one before. Let's get extra perception and insight. You ask Mother to leave you alone. You move away from Mother and pull the glass box towards yourself. She looks at you in surprise, but she gave it to you. It'll be easier to learn about the ants on your own. Mother sighs and stands back up. Very well, I understand. You want to find your own answers. You've grown up so quickly, my son. The door creaks quietly as it closes, and you are left to your own devices. You spend a long time watching the ants at work, and then you decide to go outside and find them some bugs to feed on. Once your haul is in the tray, you note which bugs they drag away and which they leave untouched. Day after day, you keep the tray full of food, provide the insects with plenty of water, and remove dead ants from the farm. Your tiny subjects still refuse to change their peculiar ways. It is just as Mother said, the ant farm is exactly like the world we live in. The ants will never know that you are there. So we dropped a little bit, which is quite bad, because unity is quite hard to get up, I've noticed from events. But at least we've gone up to in perception. And You experience an insight when your mother tells you about the ways of the world and the lots of its inhabitants. So that's quite good in itself. We do need to get determination up though, I think. You wake up to Father's touch on your shoulder. He is finally back home after a long trip. Jordan, today is your special day, the day when you begin your studies. Now teachers will be coming to our home to teach you, and you must do everything they say. Be diligent in your studies, and you will grow closer to the nobleman's lot. And since you must remember this day, a present is in order. Lydia, get our little schoolboy dressed. I'm taking him to the market district. Stefan wants to come with you too, but Father shushes him sternly. This is your day. Your elder brother is hurt to hear this, but stays quiet. An open carriage takes the two of you through the dusty, noisy city streets, a pleasant wind tussling your hair. Your city is called Anizot. That you already know. It is one of the largest cities in the entire empire. There is a big shadow on the street. It comes from the white foliage of an enormous tree that spreads its branches all above the city. My son, did you know that the silver tree grew from the blood of our gods' own disciples? It has been growing here for hundreds of years, right in our city. It cannot be damaged or burned. Not even the clergy know why. The carriage comes to a halt by a small shop next to a city square. You run there and freeze by the stalls in excitement. The shop is packed with dolls and figurines and toys. You've never seen so many at once before. Have you chosen your present yet? Father asks. You have. You want the Holy Order set, which includes several figurines of the Emperor's greatest warriors of all time. You rattle off everything you know about the Holy Order. They were the ones who aided the Emperor's own forces in seizing the province of Magra and storming our city. That's how we joined the Empire. Father nods in approval. Very well. War isn't your lot for now, but maybe these toy soldiers will teach you to think like a general. We will lead them into battle and study military strategy. Go ahead. Take your present. Having said this, Father turns away to examine the books. You run to the box of toy soldiers, delirious with excitement, but there's a fancy-dressed boy in your way. He's about to take the warriors for himself. He elbows you aside and reaches for the box. Anger overcomes you and you push him from behind. Your opponent falls to the floor. The rich boy screams so loudly everybody in the shop hears it. He hit me! He hit me! A tall tower of a man leans over you. This is the boy's father. But then you feel your father's own hands on your shoulders. What happened? You press against Father, your mind more at ease now. He will protect you. Yes, you shove the boy to the floor in front of everyone, but he tried to take your present for himself. Father turns you around to face him when he hears these words. Is this true, Jordan? Did you strike the son of a nobleman? So we could admit our guilt, but we can't because of our willpower. We could deny our guilt, which would give us extra willpower, or we could tell him the truth. We're going to tell him the truth. You tell Father that you repaid the impudent little boy in kind. Which is what happened, really, so it's only fair. It isn't fair to blame you without letting you speak too. You didn't want to shove that stupid boy, but he was the one who shoved you first. But the angry nobleman, the boy's father, will not let you finish. Nobody cares a whit for your so-called truth, little lowborn. The law is the law, and your punishment is due. Your father nods in agreement to these words, no matter how sad they may make him. They lead you and the nobleman's son out of the shop. You are told to bow to him and show humility. A bad feeling sends a shiver down your spine. With a satisfied grin on his face, the boy swings his arm and slaps you on the cheek. He strikes you again and again. Enough! He got what he deserved. We're leaving. Get out of our way. Your head is swimming from the heavy blows. You return to your senses back in your bed, with servants treating your face. Father stays by your side all day. The morning after, you find a little box of your bed with the tin soldiers of the Holy Order inside. You paid dearly for your stubbornness. But at least we're up to active now, which is great. That'll really help us. 11:24, childhood, 6 years old. We'll do one more event. Summer, the family dinner. Today Father ordered the dinner table to be brought out into the yard. For the first time in months, he's home outside of the confines of his always locked study. He spent the entire day playing with Nathan and you, discussing various matters with Stefan, now an adolescent, and walking in the garden, and now at dinner under the open sky. Your entire family gathers together, with Father at the head of the table, smiling. He asks each of you about your studies. Nathan climbs up on his knee and recites a counting rhyme in a funny sing-song voice. Stefan mentions that his fencing teacher praised his accomplishments. He rises from the table together with Father to show his skill in a practice duel. Next comes Gloria's turn. She stands on her chair and recites a lengthy prayer by heart. Mother showers your sister with praise. Father chuckles quietly, hiding a smile in his moustache. When your turn comes, you recite all the ranks in the Legion, from common soldier to high commander. Stefan listens to you with a skeptical look on his face. Night slowly falls, but the servants ensure that the yard is well illuminated. You don't feel cold in the dusk tonight. It feels good yet so important. All of you are finally together, sitting at the same table. No fighting, just smiles. No arguing, just pleasant small talk. Then a servant approaches Father with a letter in his hand. He reads it in the dim light, and each line gradually washes the smile off Father's face until only a stone-cold mask remains. Mother looks at Father with an unspoken question in her eyes. Gregor Brante is coming to Anisot. He is the head of our family, my father. Uh-oh, doesn't look too good. Grandfather's return, year 1124. Your grandfather, Gregor Brante, returned to the family home from the capital. How's that going to stir the pot? I just want to check. Okay, we're still 2 points away in determination from getting the event, the fencing lesson. So let's try and get that. The intrusion. Ever since the news of Grandfather's impending arrival, there has not been a single day when the house has not been cleaned or decorated. Your parents anxiously make sure everything is in order. They tell you to wash your face and hands after walks and scold you for leaving books on the floor. They tell Gloria she will be flogged if she is ever seen hiding in the attic. They make Stefan stay in his room. Even baby Nathan gets in trouble. Everyone is on edge. Then one day Grandfather arrives. It is a grim day, so hot your neck is sticky with sweat. Father, Mother, Stefan, Gloria, you and Nathan, the entire Brante family stands on the porch in front of the house servants lined up behind you. The carriage arrives and out steps a tall, gaunt old man with a heavy walking stick and a heavier gaze. You cringe instinctively. Good health to you, Father. Children, greet your grandfather as you have been taught. Still trying to look like a real nobleman, are you? You can't fool me, Robert. I was the first of the Brante family to be ennobled by the mantle, and I am the only one who remembers how to bear this burden properly. I live honourably by my lot. Your marriage to that low-born wench cut us off from ever becoming nobles of the sword. My progeny could have been born bearing noble blood. Father, I beg you, this is not the place. Grandfather eyes him with scorn and walks into the house, the entire family following close behind him. I've been away far too long. The entire house is a mess. This is an insult. How can you live in such a pigsty, Robert? The servants have grown far too lazy, all thanks to your commoner of a wife. I warned you, did I not? And yet you did as you saw fit. And the children, what do they know of tradition or honour? They are being raised in a virtuous family, Father. And now you're speaking like a lowborn who's content to live in humility. Twins willing, now that I am here, this will not happen again. I am taking your oldest son to the capital. I see you cannot provide Stefan with a proper education, so I will correct your mistake. Your brother's fate has been decided just like that. Father does not object. He orders the servants to prepare Stefan for the journey. Stefan freezes in place, glancing at Grandfather and Father again and again. The latter puts a hand on his shoulder reassuringly. Grandfather's lips are a tight line, white with contempt. The house is examined room after room. Everything Grandfather sees is showered with scorn. He scoffs at a crease on a blanket in Nathan's crib in Mother's bedroom. He mocked Gloria's knitting in her room. The door to your room is next. What is this, Robert? Tin soldiers in your younger son's room? He was born a commoner. I won't have him daydreaming of battle. Grandfather seizes the box containing the tin warriors of the Holy Order. Your father stays silent. Anger and fear boil within you. This is your big present from the first days of your studies. It means so much to you. But what if he's right? What if you need to prove you're right to command the toy soldiers first? Grandfather shakes his head in disapproval and shoves the toy box into the roaring fireplace. If you wait too long, they will melt into flames. So we could strike, Grandfather. which will give us determination and perception, but he will kill us and our relationship with him will deteriorate, so he's going to kill us if we do that. We can burst into tears, which will take away willpower, or we can watch them melt helplessly, which will give us willpower and perception. We can't rescue them, our determination is too low, and actually he would have liked us if we had been able to do that. I'm going to watch them melt. That's quite good. It'll give us back some willpower as well as give us some perception. I mean, it's good to get one of each, but the death is definitely not worth it. We watch them melt helplessly. Grandfather is right. These toys are nothing but a distraction from your studies. The wood crackles, the tin melts. The unpleasant smell of burning paint fills the room. Father grimly orders the servants to douse the fire and clean the mess that was your birthday present just a few moments ago. You watch the servants at work with a strange fascination, experiencing an odd feeling of freedom. It all seems right now. It's time for you to grow up. Grandfather leaves to examine the other rooms of the house. We're quite close to being insightful, that's really good. But I'm worried we might not get the determination we need to, but we'll see. Fall, the master of the house. Soon, grandfather leaves. Your elder brother Stefan goes with him. From that day on, father's hired teachers tend to you alone. They bore you with monotonous lectures on writing, counting, and the way of life in the blessed Archenian Empire. You often distract yourself with their instruction by playing with your younger brother Nathan. Your home grows quiet without your elder brother, too quiet. Weeks later, your family receives a letter from Stefan. Grandfather has sent him to a boarding school for nobles, and he's now studying hard in preparation for his service as a nobleman. The rules here are way too strict. You can't even sneeze without the teacher's permission. But I've been studying with my peers. We're learning how to live as nobles in a noble society. We're also learning the art of swordplay. That's my favourite part. With Stefan now at boarding school, grandfather arrives once more, this time to live in your home. The only good thing is that he often has urgent business in Eterna, the capital of the empire, and has to travel there. One day you ask mother where he lived before. In Eterna, she says, but now his place is here. Each time grandfather returns, he gives the servants new orders. Your home is now always busy with repairs. The servants are redecorating grandfather's chambers, including his library and sitting room. Sometimes father tries to gently talk him out of this. Why subject the house to constant reconstruction? Grandfather's answer is always the same. This home is mine, and I will live here as befits a man of the nobility. Okay, so I'm going to leave it there. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Let me know how you found my decisions. Did they pan out like you thought? What would you have chosen? And I'll see you in the next video. So take care and have a nice day.